Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a supernatural horror film, Amityville, Part 2, The Awakening. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film begins with a news report on the grisly crime scene in Amityville, New York. After a family moved into this house in 1974, the oldest son killed his parents and siblings, claiming that sinister voices in the house made him do it. The news created an uproar, and people began to wonder if there was really something demonic in there. 40 years later, a new family moves into that house, specifically the girl named Belle, along with her mother, sister, brother, and their smell-sensitive dog. Belle enters the house and goes to the second floor, where she finds an old family photo. We learn that her father has died of cancer, and her brother is in a brain-dead state due to an accident a few years earlier. During dinner, it becomes obvious that the relationship between Belle and her mother is tense. The mother thinks that starting over in a new place will change things for the better and help Belle's brother recover. On the other hand, Belle disagrees and is still annoyed that she has to change schools again. Later that night, Belle goes to her brother's room and hugs him tearfully. Then we notice a fly above his hand, which he chases away by moving his finger. The next day, when Belle goes to school, some kids mock her. One classmate states that everyone makes fun of her because of the house in which she resides. Belle tries to understand what he is talking about, but the teacher asks them to be quiet. That evening, while Belle is studying, a fly starts bothering her. As she tries to catch the fly, she accidentally hits the wall, and the wallpaper detaches. Belle tries to find out what it's hiding, but the dog starts barking. When she looks out the window, Belle notices in the backyard an obvious line surrounding the house. Then she goes down the stairs and finds an open window. When she tries to close it, it opens again, and her younger sister suddenly appears, startling Belle. She turns around and sees her sister again. Belle doesn't have time to realize what has happened, because at that exact moment, she notices a shadow in her brother's room. She goes inside to take a look, but no one is there except her brother. Then Belle takes her sister to her room, but suddenly, the software that monitors her brother's health reports an irregular heartbeat. The mother wakes up and goes to check on the situation. Her son's breathing slows and finally stops completely. The mother panics and desperately tries to do something. Belle loses hope, claiming that God wants to take her brother away. However, to her shock, the mother slaps her for what she said. Soon after, the brother starts breathing again, and the mother is over the moon. Later, as the younger sister tries to give him a kiss, he opens his eyes and mouth in an unusual way, after which the dog starts barking at something smelly and suspicious. But the mother ignores this creepy thing, but Belle is puzzled. The next morning, Belle goes down to the kitchen to eat breakfast and is startled by the figure of her brother in the mirror. Belle ignores this and continues her day as usual. At school, she learns of the mass murder that occurred in the house where she exactly resides now. In addition, her classmate reveals that there is even a movie filmed about that house. When she returns home, Belle has an argument with her mother about why she did not tell her about what happened in the house. That is when the doctor arrives, which by the way is another reason why they moved to this house. Because in this area, they are much closer to the doctor, who tries to treat Belle's brother in intensive care. The mother reveals that her son has opened his eyes, a sign that he's gradually recovering. Nevertheless, the doctor states that after such an accident, he is incurable. The mother doesn't listen to the doctor's medical bullshit, convinced that her son will recover. After hearing all this, Belle gets furious, saying that she's only extending the brother's misery. Belle walks away, and as she goes up the stairs, she hears her sister talking to someone. Her sister says she was talking to her brother, who said he misses her. Belle is perplexed, but ignores this, thinking that it is all a figment of her sister's imagination. Later, Belle removes the wallpaper in her room and discovers the blood stains left by the past murder in the house. Around 3:15 a.m., Belle hears someone moving under the blanket, but she ignores it, thinking it is her sister. Then she finds blood on her arm and on the bed. She jumps out of bed, and when she turns around, she sees the killer's son with a gun in his hand. However, she wakes up to find it's only a nightmare. At school, her classmate introduces her to a friend who is also a fan of the Amityville legend. He suggests they watch the movie The Amityville Horror, which was made based on the horror that happened at Belle's residence. He emphasizes that they must watch it at Belle's house at 3:15 a.m., exactly the time when the killer's son killed his entire family. That night, Belle's friends arrive to watch the film, and he asks for the location of the magic circle, which is a circle of sacred space drawn by practitioners of some branches of ritual magic. It is believed to contain some kind of energy, and so it can give people a form of protection. Usually, these circles are created with salt and fire to contain and kill the demon if it leaves the circle. Afterward, they start watching the movie. Then, at exactly 3:15, the power goes out as expected. Belle thinks it is a prank by her classmate, but he is actually innocent. Then they go to the basement to find the fuse box. As they look around, Belle's classmate reveals that this house can drive people crazy. Initially, people start having nightmares or hallucinations. Then they will get to the point where they can't distinguish reality from hallucination. When the roof finally manages to turn on the power, they are surprised to see Belle's mother with a shotgun in her hands. She scolds Belle for inviting friends over without her permission. In addition, her mother reveals that someone has entered her brother's room and suspects that it was her friends. Belle is confused because her friends have always been with her. The next day, the doctor visits the family and states that Belle's brother has locked-in syndrome. He administers an EEG test that reveals improved neurological function. At one point, Belle's brother stares at his mother intensely. She is about to faint, and the girls take her away. The doctor notices a worm on the bed, and when he turns the boy's body over, hundreds of flies come out suddenly and swarm the room. The doctor retreats in fright, and the flies enter his mouth. When Belle arrives, she looks at the doctor, but sees nothing unusual. Traumatized, the doctor says he cannot help them and runs his panicking butt away. The flies in this scenario make complete sense, as one of Satan's names is Beelzebub, or Lord of the Flies. In addition, the fly is an insect that thrives in dirt and squalor, and is known to lay eggs in dead things. So this means that Belle's brother is possessed by the devil, and his spirit is no longer alive. That evening, while the mother is massaging her son's feet, the dog enters the room and starts barking. It is known that dogs have a kind of sixth sense, and besides those smelly things, it can sense the presence of sinister things that we cannot see. That night at 3:15 a.m., the door to the younger sister's room opens by itself. Later, the door to the wardrobe also opens, but she doesn't seem terrified, thinking it is her brother's spirit. This means that's not the first time the younger sister has interacted with him. The brother tells her to come closer, and as soon as she enters the wardrobe, the door closes. Immediately after, the demonic figure of her brother appears, and she bursts out screaming in a chicken voice. Belle wakes up, and while looking for her sister, she spots her brother touching her mother naked. Disgusted, she returns to her room and finds someone in bed. It turns out to be Belle herself, who is confronted by her brother with a rifle in his hand. She wakes up soon after, revealing that it was only a nightmare. The next day, the mother brings a computer to allow her son to communicate in words with his eyelids. Confusingly, he informs his mother that he forgives her, and Belle bursts into tears along with her mother. Later, Belle talks to her friend about what happened to her brother. She reveals that she sent her nudes to a guy, but the guy posted them on the internet. So Belle's brother wanted to give the guy a lesson, but causing himself to fall off a balcony during the fight. The next day, Belle's classmate affirms that her brother might be possessed. The fact that he recovered in this house after 2 years in a coma is very strange. Belle thinks he is talking nonsense, but he advises her to talk to her brother. At night, Belle goes to her brother and asks if there is anyone who is tormenting him. He answers yes and asks her to kill him if she wants to help him. Initially, Belle sobs and hesitates. But then, she removes his breathing tubes, intending to end his misery as he wished. But suddenly, the devil takes over and scares Belle by saying that he will not die. The mother arrives and lashes out at Belle because she removed his breathing tubes. But then, she notices that he is breathing even without tubes and is convinced that he is recovering. The next day, Belle tells her friends everything. They say that if they remain there, the devil will kill them all, so they must leave as soon as possible. Belle returns home and leaves a message on the monitor, making her mother believe that her brother wants to take a walk. The mother finds the message and takes him outside. Meanwhile, Belle goes to the basement and finds the red room, which is the one that made the son get possessed and kill his entire family. Many years ago, this was a small storage room under the stairs that the family used to store toys. Legend has it that this small room was formerly a torture area where Native Americans were mutilated and held captive. In fact, Belle finds blood all over the walls, and we see an inscription that reads, "Killed them all." At the same time, the younger sister finds the dead dog in the lake and screams, drawing Belle's attention. Once outside, she notices that her brother is acting strangely and realizes that the house is inside the magic circle. Since he is now possessed, if he goes outside the circle, he will most likely die with the demon inside him. That night, she tries to convince her mother that her brother is possessed and that they must leave as soon as possible. But the mother is convinced that her son will completely recover in this place. It's revealed that the mother has even lost faith in God, as no matter how many times she has prayed, God hasn't helped her from the loss of her husband and the misery of her son. That's why she intentionally chose to move to this haunting house, even though she knows its history. She seems to accept the devil's help to cure her dying son, ignoring all of Belle's warnings. So in the middle of the night, Belle wakes her sister to try to flee the house, but the mother knocks her out with a shotgun. Later, Belle wakes up, and when she goes to the kitchen, she finds the family together, with her brother completely healthy and joyful. Suddenly, Belle's forehead begins to bleed, and she wakes up in her bed, revealing that it was only a dream. Belle notices that it is 3:15 a.m., and the words "kill them all" appear on the wall of the Red Room. Belle's brother gets out of bed and goes to the Red Room, which revitalizes his body. In the process, her mother's friend arrives, and when she enters the house, the possessed brother shoots her with his rifle. The mother wakes up and tries to leave the room, but the door is blocked. The brother rushes into the younger sister's room and shoots the bed. Fortunately, she is hidden somewhere else with Belle. Next, he goes to the mother's room. She retrieves the crucifix and lays it in front of him, but it is too late. God can no longer save her because she has lost faith. He then shoots her once in the chest, then throws her on the bed and shoots her in the head. After finishing with the mother, he goes to find the two sisters. Suddenly, the ghost of the dog appears and confronts Belle, who kills it with a knife. In the process, the possessed brother finds the younger sister and takes her to bed. As he prepares to shoot her, Belle intervenes and pushes him, and they fall out the window together. He tries to emotionally blackmail Belle, but she realizes he is still possessed, so she drags him out of the magic circle. As a result, his body withers quickly, and he becomes paralyzed again, possibly because the demon has been exorcised out of his body. The brother dies, after thanking her for freeing him from the demon. Shortly thereafter, her younger sister appears, and Belle happily hugs her. In the last scenes, Belle is questioned by the police about the killings. Gladly, the younger sister confirmed Belle's story, and the police found her brother's fingerprints on the murder weapon, despite the coroner's failure to explain how the dying brother could conduct such killings. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.